Hello and welcome back to AniCap Explained. Today we will be recapping the Eminence of Shadow, so let's begin. On a beautiful morning, a girl named Nishino wakes up to the constant ringing of her alarm. She walks into the shower, washing the tiredness away and revealing her dark long hair and big dewy eyes. Nishino Akane, the famous young celebrity and daughter of the head of Nishino conglomerate, approaches the school in a fancy car. A mob of students is waiting for her to arrive just to greet her in respect. She is used to having a lot of attention in school. Although there's one thing that annoys her, which is that one boy in school who gets her name wrong every time. Kajino-kun is an ordinary-looking quiet student and the only person who doesn't show any interest in Nishino being famous. She walks up to Kajino-kun, correcting his mistake of calling her Nishimura, and their conversation ends up increasing her irritation towards him. What angers her most is the fact that they've been sitting next to each other for the past 3 years and he still never gets her name right, which also makes her curious. The next scene shows the opposite lifestyles of Kajino-kun and Nishino. She lives behind a mask as a people pleaser, while her main reason to act like this is that she has a traumatizing past incident of getting kidnapped by a stalker. Since then, she has been keeping her reputation clean, making everyone adore her, and never goes anywhere without a personal driver. One evening after late sitting in school, Nishino has to walk back home alone because her driver doesn't show up. The driver in fact had been beaten up and Nishino gets abducted by 2 men strangling her. The last thing she sees before going unconscious is Kajino-kun standing a few feet away. He watches her get kidnapped. If you're enjoying the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to AniCap Explained. The scene shifts to Nishino waking up in an old building, realizing she's tied up. The man responsible for kidnapping her reveals that he's waiting for the money from her father. Moreover, he tries to harass her, but suddenly a figure appears on the glass roof. The roof breaks and the figure jumps on the man, easily putting him down with skillful combat. The savior introduces himself as a stylish ruffian slayer and fights skillfully with the other man, who happens to be an ex-militarian. The fight goes on evenly until the ruffian slayer shows his unexpectedly aggressive side and defeats the other kidnapper. He releases Nishino before walking away, warning her to be careful next time. Kajino-kun is the stylish ruffian slayer that saved Nishino, and the news reports his death the next day. The scene cuts to Kajino-kun's childhood, obscuring his deepest desire to become extraordinarily powerful. He has been training to become stronger and lives as a background character in social life. Evidently, he realizes that skills are not all he needs. In conclusion, Kajino-kun actually dies only to be reborn as the Eminence in Shadow, someone who has the power to pull the strings of what happens next. After Kajino-kun dies in an accident in his previous life, he miraculously is reborn into a noble family such as Sid Kajino. Turns out that his new life is completely different from his past one. Sid makes a decision to live low-key as an ordinary person, which will make people notice his older sister Claire as the true heiress of the family. Moreover, Kajino has been secretly training and going on his nighttime quests defeating outlaws. During one of his expeditions, Sid runs into a bubble of rotting flesh. He spends a few days observing its curse and successfully heals the rotting bubble of flesh into its natural form as a beautiful elf girl. However, he takes advantage of this opportunity and manipulates her into thinking she's a member of the ancient heroes. He gives her the name Alpha, who is now his sidekick who can help him fight against Diabolos, a made-up villain organization by Sid that Alpha believes is coming after them. For this matter, Alpha manages to form a group of 7 Shadow Garden members against the cult. Meanwhile, Sid regularly trains with his sister without besting her once. According to tradition, when the firstborn turns 15, they are obliged to join Dark Knight's academy in the royal capital called the Medgar. Eventually, Claire enrolls to join the Medgar Academy for her higher education. Unfortunately, Claire goes missing the night before she has to leave for the academy. It's soon revealed that she has been kidnapped, shocking everyone how anyone would manage to fight against her. Meanwhile, Sid tries to find a way to rescue her without showing any concern about her being kidnapped. Finally, one of the members of Shadow 7 digs out information on who is responsible for kidnapping his sister. She tells Sid that a higher officer of the enemy cult of Diabolos is involved in it, which Sid already predicted. The Diabolos took Claire because they think she is one of the descendants of heroes. Beta then proceeds to show the possible locations on the map of their hideout. Sid confidently throws a knife at his assumed location. To his surprise, the knife doesn't land on the location he was sure about, but Beta doesn't notice and points to the direction where the actual location was. Sid and 7 Shadows are ready to make a surprise attack on Diabolos. On the other hand, Viscount Grease, a higher-ranked officer of the Diabolos cult, questions Claire about his brother. Claire reacts aggressively and lunges forward, breaking her chains, but only to be knocked down again. Right after one of their men comes with the news that they have been attacked by Shadow 7. Viscount Grease seems confident to fight the 7 shadows, only to be shocked a few minutes later to see his men being knocked down effortlessly by the group. After watching his men getting defeated brutally by the enemies, Viscount Grease fights the Alpha along with her underlings. He runs with the intention to flee but comes in contact with Sid, who mockingly defeats him and kills him without remorse. In the end, Claire returns home with minor injuries and is ready to join Medgar Academy of Dark Knights. After Sid and Shadow 7 save Claire from Diabolos, the Alpha and the 6 others get into an important discussion with Sid. According to their investigations, the cult of Diabolos has a wide range across the world, influencing a lot of matters. Sid, however, does not believe the existence of this matter and assumes that Shadow 7 has realized the lies he tells them and has decided to set themselves free. Without holding resentment against Shadow 7, Sid moves on and joins the Medgar Academy once he turns 15. Later he finds out that the Academy has a way of treating the upper class far better than the lower class students coming from different noble families. Meanwhile, Sid manages to make 2 friends named Pooh and Skell. One day in the academy, Sid's 2 friends remind him of the dare he has to do as he got the least marks in the exam. His dare is to propose to Princess Alexia, one of the elite and beautiful girls in the academy. She was known to reject everyone on campus, but to everyone's surprise, including Sid's, she accepts his proposal, making him her boyfriend in front of the entire campus. Suddenly, after being known as Princess Alexia's boyfriend, Sid starts getting extra attention in the academy. Later that day, he is joined by Princess Alexia in the cafeteria, and she asks him to join the fencing class with her. They even create a couple of practice duos. The same day, Mr. Xenon, a fencing instructor of the royal family, arrives with the intention to meet Princess Alexia. She tells him about her and Sid dating, to which Xenon does not give any reaction and calls her decision to be immature. Moreover, he proceeds to remind the princess of their being betrothed covertly, which is a surprise for Sid. Later, after this revelation, Sid argues with Alexia for using him to get away from Xenon. Princess Alexia reminds him of how he only proposed to her for a bet. Sid then continues to make his point on the fact that their relationship does not make any sense, while Princess Alexia indirectly informs him that the school will probably react against him after knowing that he played an innocent girl's feelings only to win a bet. At the end of their discussion, Alexia pays Sid to play along and they continue to be in a relationship publicly. Meanwhile, they are aware of the deal that started their relationship. A few days later, Alexia shares her feelings towards Sid, that she prefers someone like him with flaws, unlike Xenon, who shows a perfect outside persona. She also gives her opinion that someone who shows such perfection is a huge liar. A few days later, the couple gets into a fight on the train before reaching their dorms. But later that day, he finds out that Princess Alexia has been missing. This makes Sid one of the main suspects. If you liked the video, don't forget to like and subscribe to AniCap Explained if you haven't already. Do share the video if you like the story. Thanks for watching, goodbye, and see you next time with the next episode.